Mm, mm, mm. When Carcino is right, damn, that boy is right as rain, ain't he? Right as rain. Now, when I told you the bosses are the bosses, baby, we're sitting around having a conversation about Stephen A. Smith. Well, not Stephen A. Smith, but Pat McAfee. And I told you, J.J. Redick and these guys were protected by ESPN, and this is who they want to model the new company around. And here's Pat McAfee. Pat's sitting right there. And you know what Pat is talking about? Pat is sitting there talking with Bob Iger and the president of ESPN. And they all sitting there on Zoom chats. What do you think they're talking about? How to grow Pat and make him the face. They paid him way more than they paid you. Off the rip. Said, this man's got the vision. Oh, yeah. He's got the vision. We need to pay him. Right there. Pay that man. So what did they decide to do, ladies and gentlemen? They said, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. I like that we got Shannon Sharp now. Let's use Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. to boost our white boy, Pat McAfee. We're going to put him on First Take. Starting on Tuesdays. Pat McAfee will be on First Take. Oh, yeah. It's going down. Get your popcorn ready. Because Shannon Sharp, Pat McAfee, and Stephen A. will be there on Tuesdays. And on Wednesday, Pat McAfee's show will kick off following First Take. Mm, mm, mm. Tell me you don't hear it. Tell me you're not feeling it. Tell me something. You see, here's the kicker. Stephen A., you always play big to the black folks. You always try to brag and boast and talking about your position and what you did in journalism and all of these things that appear to be lies just to try to make yourself feel important. But what is the real narrative here? Is how is this going to make you feel when it goes around the globe? Because it's only so long you can fake the funk, brother. They say fake it till you make it. Well, he didn't made it. And now, since you've made it, brother, what are you doing for others? You're showing them how to be Mike Wilburn. Mike Wilburn has trained you to be a worker till you could bring in the next you. Mike Wilburn don't get a thing off of you. He's a company man. And he looking for more company man who knows better to outshine the boss. Who's gonna say, whatever master says, we do. And they looking for the next one. But the one is you. That's who the one is. You the one. You are the one. They said this is the guy. He gets it. Never ever go against the hand of the boss, and anyone that does, he snaps at them. He snapped like a junkyard dog. You go, oh, you can't talk about them like that. They cut the checks, the money. They paying you all that money. How dare you equate money over value? And after all of this, you talked about and bragged and you boasted about the money and everything that came along with it. Once it came down to the situation that was in front of you and was presented very, very, you know, casually, but it was true. It was absolutely true. That's exactly where it should end up. You see, people don't realize that they get put in these situations based on how they live. You lived like a snail. Stephen A would not want to be the boss if they gave him that seat. If they said, hey, we want you to run ESPN for about a couple of months. Do you think this is something that you could do? And you go, no. No, no, no. I don't feel comfortable sitting in that seat. But yet, in a snap of a finger, they brought over a white boy who ain't never really had a journalistic background and bone in his body. This dude was a stand-up comic, doing stand-up comedy and was a kicker in the NFL. He walks in and is doing your job already. What's up with that picture, ladies and gentlemen? Can anyone tell me what's up with that picture? I can tell you what I see from it. What I see from that scenario is clear. When I see people like Stephen A who don't see it, he sees that going. He knows Pat McAfee's going to get his money. It's not about Pat getting his money. It's about how disrespectful that is. They step right over you as if you're nothing and go right over to the new flavor of the month. That's what I'm talking about. They stepped over you and went over to the new flavor of the month like it was nothing. You have been building that network up, holding it on, being the face of the network. And as soon as they got a white boy they think that could do better with ratings and numbers, they walk him in and give him a check, no questions asked, bigger than yours. They fired you with no explanation of why they got rid of you the first time. They suspended you for no reason and everything. And yet and still, this guy can come over and take your job. What's wrong with that? Can somebody tell me what's wrong with that picture? Well, if you're Stephen A, it's business as usual. It's business as usual. He's the company man, so he don't see a problem with any of it. He'll even try to make it look like it was his idea, like they ran it by him, and he says, "That seems like a good idea. Let me go ahead and do that for the team. For the team, dude. For the team." He's gonna make it look like it was his idea. So ESPN finna shake up the schedule and bring in the new shows in the fall. And this is what I told y'all. So when they bring Pat McAfee to the rotation on first take, every Tuesday, he's gonna be on the show. Now Shannon Sharp is on there on Mondays and Tuesdays. So on Tuesdays, Shannon gonna share the floor with Pat McAfee. So they can keep boosting the ratings going into Wednesday. Now, I remember Molly. Molly used to co-host that 2 a.m. call time show they had with Pat McAfee when he was active in the NFL. You see, when he left FanDuel back then, that ESPN orchestrated this new move. They announced they signed him to this multi-year deal back in May when they cut everybody else's salary and everybody blamed Pat McAfee for it. I'm like, how you gonna blame the man that's getting the money? This company just fired everybody to pay one man, basically. That's the way it looked. But this is a cutback that they wanted to make. So he made his ESPN debut today, and the show like had some hiccups. The tech work wasn't there. AJ Hawk cameras was all messed up, but it's day one. So so it's the new follow-on show right behind First Take on Wednesdays. hmm Well, they had to work with Pat McAfee because he was cursing like a mad truck driver. It's okay when black white folks do something. So, there'd be an outcry if somebody black and they was giving him this position. But anyway, I digress. McAfee assured the public that he's going to be a little less profanity, but he's still going to be the same old Pat McAfee. Now, ESPN has already stated that the show is going to run on a delay so that they censors have time to catch any F bombs that come out of Pat McAfee's mouth. Because, they're worried about that. Well, that's just it. People got to see things for what they are. And when you start seeing things for what they are, then you can move in another direction. It's clear that they're going to tell Stephen A how important he isn't to the network as much as he's going to believe when it's time for this renegotiation of his contract. He's trying to build a podcast show up now. That's why he's working so hard on that damn show. He's trying to build that thing up so he can sell it, get some money going on, so he can have a backup plan because now he realizes he needs one because he thought he was so important. He needed Shannon Sharp there to balance things out for him to help save his career. Oh, because the writing is on the wall, people. They tired of these worn out 60-year-old people trying to talk down to about stuff they don't understand and pretend they do. Now, everyone who saw the situation unfold prior, they saw it already. It's like we've seen this show. And it's like what do you want us to do? Because we've seen it already. So it's not fooling anyone. Nothing fools me. I've seen it coming. The ESPN radio, everybody's like, what's happening with ESPN radio? Once again, as I told you, it's what? Dying on a vine. Look, man, ESPN radio lineup has been undergoing shakeups every year. And there's some like several radio hosts are, getting gone with the larger cuts at the network, like Max, remember Jason Fitz, Keyshawn, all of them. They had what's his name? Evan Cohen, Michelle Solomon, and Chris Canty. They now is doing they're gonna be the new show now that they gotten rid of those big contracts with Max and Keyshawn. Nobody worried about what Jason Fitz is getting paid. And then Greeny got his own show again. Greeny. Yeah, I mean it's just terrible. You got Chris Carlin. He's going from the afternoons to like what 12 to 3. Then it's got man, the guy that Joe guy. He do the evenings. They don't know what to do with these guys. And they just like, look, we getting money, so we can't really go anywhere. But you got what's his name, Douglas and Coleman. They going to do they midday show with Fitz. Coleman has been on the network since like 2004, and he been hosting late nights from like 9 to 1 in the morning. And then Fitzsimmons, who was there, he's hosting late nights. I mean, co-hosting late nights with Coleman. They got the game night show, and they don't know what's going on, man. They'll sit there and say, "We have the most powerful people on radio." I mean, they say some of the dumbest lineups I've ever heard in life and creation, but they saying it. And now Stephen A is keep talking about it's my show. It's not your show. You could be fired and replaced. You don't own it. That's the difference. You got no veto power, and yet here you are talking. It makes no sense to me where people put things, like what perspective do they put it? Because to me, it seems like people have their own agenda, what they want to do, how they want to do it, how they believe things should go, the whole nine. So when you start seeing people play things out the way they do, it's like, what's your agenda? What's your goal? What's your end game? Laying your plane. But now, for the first time, Stephen A is seeing that it's real, buddy. Your takeover is your removal is in place. You're being proved to be ostracized. You are replaceable, and they finna prove it to you. They're gonna print Pat McAfee on your show, build himself up, get his Pat McAfee show on, and then they're gonna try to use Pat to boost your show. They got Shannon Sharp. They went and got Pat McAfee. They paid all this big money to have these guys on your show. Shannon only working 2 days a week. That's all they're paying him is for 2 days. Because if he's there 5 days, that's too much. That's too much. And Shannon gonna end up probably punching you in the mouth. So now he only gotta worry about Monday and Tuesday. And to be honest, nobody really cared about Tuesday's show. after he saw the first show. The hype didn't die down. You see how quick that goes? Well, people they kind of understand where things are going, you know. When you see where you see a lot of people put their perspectives. Yeah, it goes that way sometimes. I don't think about it at all. Uh, all I think about is this. This man's in trouble. You know, so if people want to move in that way, let them. It's cool. It's clearly that's what they want to do. They could do it. I'm not a big Stephen A. Smith fan. So when I see things that are going in a different direction or a way that I feel that it shouldn't, you know, I just know what it's about when I see him. He knows when I see him what it's about. He know I don't like him. And I told him it's like complete misdirection. And I tell him, I said, hey man, you just running complete misdirection on people. And it's just don't even make sense for you to even do that. If you're gonna give people the truth, give them the truth. If not, don't waste people's time. That's all I say is the time wasting part. That's what gets on my nerves. It's like, look, dude, don't waste my time. Don't waste the people's time. Just don't waste time. Time is very valuable. The last thing we want to do is put it in a situation where people can't make a decision on what it is that they want to do or what they should be doing. I would have liked to see Ryan Clark and Stephen A on the show with JJ Redick. To me, that was the best lineup. That was the best lineup. Now, where would they go from here? Like I said before, once again, that's on them. Now, what I'm gonna do is shut this down. Shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life, Kwame Brown Bus Life 2.0, Damn D POV, Damn D Sports, Mondo Black TV, Ticket TV. Welcome to HD TV with the two eyes. I'm gonna check and see if HD. He probably going strong right now. Knowing him. Yeah, Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez. I remember seeing his show. He did the game today, the Thursday night game. Shouts out to him. And much love to all y'all brothers, man, who keeping it real and talking about sports for real. Y'all doing better than these people on TV. I'm out.